Namaskar, welcome to this edition of the News Bulletin. In today's headlines, SAIL RSP implements e-invoicing and TCS systems. COVID warriors of SAIL RSP felicitated on Gandhi Jayanti. And winners of competitions organized among students to mark Gandhi Jayanti celebrations awarded. And now the news in detail. Rourkela steel plant has become the first integrated steel plant in SAIL to implement the electronic invoicing, that is the e-invoicing and tax collected at source TCS systems from 1st October 2020 in adherence to the government guidelines. Notably, e-invoicing is a mechanism to electronically authenticate an invoice under GST. As per the government directive, all B2B invoices generated by businesses having turnover above Rs 500 crore will have to be authenticated on GSTN portal under this mechanism. The government has initiated invoice registration portals, that is IRP, for the purpose. The process of e-invoicing involves uploading the invoice details to the IRP in a format specified by the government. The requisite registration, establishment of connectivity with IRP and development of necessary software in ERP system were completed with concerted efforts from C&IT department and finance department of RSP with the help of implementation partner Ernst & Young. The team provided a new server and adopted new security features to safeguard the system. With the dedicated and committed efforts, RSP started generating each invoice with QR code and IRN number. Similarly, the tax collected at source, that is the TCS system, has also been made operational at RSP. Notably, Government of India has introduced a new subsection 1H under Section 206C of Income Tax Act. This act mandates a supplier whose turnover is above Rs 10 crores to mandatorily deduct TCS on supply of goods from all customers whose transactions with the supplier exceed Rs 50 lakhs aggregated on PAN Aadhaar number basis. This tax is deductible on such amounts in excess of Rs 50 lakhs. The C&IT and F&A collective effective took up all the challenges and complexities involved in the project. With committed efforts, the project was completed within the deadline. The team comprising Mr. P.S. Rao, GM C&IT, Mr. D. Mohapatra, DGM C&IT, Mr. Nachiketa Misra, AGM C&IT, Mr. Govind Kumar, Senior Manager C&IT, Mr. Mayank Saun, Senior Manager C&IT, Mr. Rajesh Dhar, Manager C&IT, Mr. D.C. Yadav, Senior Manager C&IT, Mr. V.P. Arya, AGM C&IT, Mr. Biswajit Mandal, Senior Manager C&IT, Mr. Faraj Abbasi, AGM E&A, and Mr. Bipin Sartape, GM C&IT, P.K. Puhan, GM F&A, and Mr. P.K. Maharana, DGM F&A implemented the projects under the guidance of Mr. Praveen Nigam, CGM F&A, Ms. Atasi Pramanik, CGM A, I&IT, and Mr. Y.P. Das, GM in charge, C&IT. Mr. Deepak Chatrat, CEO RSP, has commended the efforts of the teams involved in the implementation of the above crucial projects and congratulated for putting RSP at the forefront in the company. The COVID warriors of SAIL, Rourkela steel plant, were felicitated in different functions organized on Gandhi Jayanti. In a function organized at the COVID Control Room Sector 20, Mr. Ajay Kumar Nayak, GM, Town Administration and CSR, and the chief guest of the function, along with Mr. P.K. Das, GM in charge, Town Services, Mr. M. Appa Rao, GM, CSR, Mr. B. Singh, GM in charge, TE, Civil, and Mr. B.K. Rao, GM, PL and HS, felicitated 34 COVID warriors working in the COVID control room. Mr. Raghu Padhi, Assistant Manager Sports, coordinated the program. In a separate function organized later in the day, the dignitaries felicitated 22 COVID warriors of COVID Care Center, Sector 5. Mr. B.K. Raut coordinated the function. Mr. Nayak as well as other dignitaries commended the efficient and extremely critical service being provided by the COVID warriors and urged them to continue their yeoman service. The winners of poster and quiz competitions organized amongst the students of RSP schools to mark the Gandhi Jayanti celebrations were awarded in a function organized at Ispat English Medium School, Sector 20 on 1st October 2020. Mr. P.K. Das, GM in charge, Town Services, and the chief guest of the function presented the awards to the winners. Mr. B. Raut, GM, PHS and SW, Dr. Banamali Kar, Principal, IEMS, Sector 20, and other teachers of the school were present on the occasion. The function was organized in strict adherence to the COVID-19 norms. It is worth mentioning here the competitions organized earlier witnessed enthusiastic participation of students. The theme of the competitions was Life of the Mahatma. The quiz competition was held online while the participants submitted their paintings prepared at home for evaluation. And that's all for today. Namaskar.